This story will change how you see faith. A lesson on trusting God's plan. Has life ever pushed you into desperate situations where you were so sure of yourself that you forgot to ask for help? Have you ever trusted yourself so absolutely that you ignored warnings, crucial guidance? And then, when facing the abyss, did you realize that true faith isn't in what you see, but in what you dare to let go of? These moments, often cloaked in fear and uncertainty, are the true tests of our conviction and the depth of our trust. This is the poignant story of a mountain climber, a man with an insatiable passion for majestic peaks. He had previously conquered countless treacherous mountains, accumulating a formidable self-assurance. Thus, when he selected a new, exceedingly challenging mountain to test himself, he didn't give it a second thought. His confidence in his abilities was so profound that he didn't even bother to check the weather forecast, formulate a detailed plan, or seek guidance from anyone. He was convinced he could achieve it entirely on his own. On the day of his ascent, he meticulously packed his gear and began his upward journey. The morning was breathtakingly beautiful. The sky was an immaculate clear blue. The mountain air was crisp and invigorating, and everything seemed perfectly aligned. By mid-afternoon, he had reached the halfway point of his climb. A satisfied smile graced his lips, and he whispered a quiet prayer of gratitude to God. "Thank you for this beautiful view," he murmured. "Thank you for my life." It was a profound moment of peace, overflowing with heartfelt appreciation. He paused to rest, ate some provisions, and gazed down at the truly breathtaking panorama below. He closed his eyes, savoring the moment, and once more offered thanks for his life and the extraordinary opportunity to witness the world from such an exhilarating height. This peaceful interlude, however, passed all too quickly. The sun began its descent, and ominous dark clouds swiftly rolled in, shrouding the peaks. The intelligent decision at this juncture would have been to halt his climb and find a safe spot to rest for the night. But the man was consumed by an unwavering determination. He fervently believed that his inherent strength and his unwavering faith would propel him to the very summit. So he pressed onward, even though visibility became severely limited. The mountain path grew increasingly perilous, swallowed by a thick, disorienting fog, and enveloped by an encroaching darkness. He completely lost his sense of direction. He couldn't discern if he was ascending, descending, or moving sideways. Yet, driven by an almost manic resolve, he continued to climb. He repeatedly reassured himself that God was watching over him, trusting implicitly that he would be protected. The night intensified its cold grip. His body began to shiver uncontrollably, but he pressed on, guided solely by instinct. Then, without warning, as he reached out to grasp a rocky ledge, his foot slipped. He lost his precarious grip and plunged into the abyss. The wind roared past him as he plummeted rapidly through the air. In those terrifying, fleeting moments of free fall, his entire life flashed before his eyes. He remembered everything with vivid clarity: his childhood innocence, his youthful dreams, his past mistakes, and his moments of pure joy. And just when he was convinced it was all over, the climbing rope securely tied around his waist yanked taut with a powerful jolt. It abruptly arrested his terrifying fall. He was left dangling precariously in midair, utterly alone in the impenetrable darkness, with nothing to see, and seemingly nowhere to go. His heart pounded frantically against his ribs. His body was numb and frozen with cold. The solitary thing keeping him alive was that fragile yet incredibly strong rope. In his overwhelming fear, he cried out, his voice raw with desperation, "Help me, God!" And to his astonishment, a calm yet undeniably powerful voice resonated from the vast sky above. It asked, with serene authority, "What do you want me to do?" The man, tears streaming down his face, pleaded, "Please, save me." The voice then questioned, "Do you truly believe I can save you?" The man, without hesitation, replied, "Yes, I believe with all my heart." The voice then posed a final, crucial question. "Will you do exactly what I tell you to do?" The man quickly, emphatically answered, "Yes, anything." The voice then delivered its startling command, "Then cut the rope tied to your waist." A chilling silence descended. The man was utterly incredulous at what he had just heard. Cut the rope? But that very rope was the only thing preventing him from plunging into the black abyss below. How could he possibly let go? His deepest fears surged, completely overwhelming him. He instinctively clutched the rope even tighter, his knuckles white. He wept silently, a desperate, hopeless sound. The pervasive cold intensified its grip, and the crushing darkness grew even heavier, suffocating his hope. He waited, but the voice spoke no more. The next morning, the rescue team discovered the man's frozen body. He had succumbed to the bitter cold during the long night. His hands were still tightly gripping the rope, a testament to his final desperate act. He was found hanging just a mere 3 feet, approximately 0.9 meters above the ground. He could have lived. He could have been saved, if only he had trusted completely. He believed in God with his words, but tragically, not with his actions. Do you truly trust your faith, or are you still clinging desperately to your fears? We often profess our belief in God, but when the moment arrives to act upon that conviction, fear frequently takes over, paralyzing us. The man in our story trusted God with his words, yet failed to do so with his actions. He had the opportunity for salvation, but he chose instead to cling fiercely to what he perceived to be safe, rather than embracing the unknown. Sometimes, ironically, we are holding on to something that we genuinely believe is saving us, when in reality, it might be precisely what is preventing us from achieving true freedom and liberation. True faith means trusting God, even when we cannot possibly comprehend the entire picture, when the path ahead is obscured and uncertain. Without His guidance, our human view is inherently limited, confined by our fears and doubts. But with Him, we are empowered to see beyond our anxieties, to transcend our limitations, and embrace a greater reality. If this powerful story has profoundly touched your heart and stirred your spirit, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, where every story is crafted to speak directly to your soul and awaken your deepest spirit.